Welcome back. I am Bob Dust, your instructor for the database course at Reynolds Community College. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about joins, table joins, and see a little graphic detail of how the joins work together. So let's take a look at our table. This is our diagram you should be familiar with by now. These are 7 tables, and they're all they're all linked together using foreign keys and primary keys. Let's add a little color coding to our tables, which will help illustrate the points we're going to make a little bit. So we add colors to the 7 tables, and we'll identify the primary keys of each table as well. So here are our 7 tables, and here are our 7 primary keys. So let's look at the sales order table. You remember sales order is a one-to-many relationship with a customer, where customer is the one table and sales order is the many table. So we will link our foreign key customer ID in the sales order table to the customer ID in the customer table. Moving over to the shipment table in the left column, we see we have sales order number, which is a foreign key to the sales order table. Moving down to the shipment part, we see we have shipment ID, which is a foreign key to the shipment table. And we also have sales order part ID, which is a foreign key to the sales order part table. Remember that shipment part is a many-to-many relationship. So we will have 2 relationships there. Staying with the sales order part table, it also is a bridge table, and it links to the sales order table using sales order number, and to the part table using part ID. Now, the last table is the sales return. This is a one-to-one relationship with the shipment part, and that is on shipment part ID. Now, these are our 7 tables and the relationships between them. Again, you should be familiar with this diagram by now, as we've been on this for quite some time. So let's get rid of these lines here and just stick with the basic tables. Now we know how they are related. And the question we want to answer is, someone has asked us to identify all the sales returns for the parts. So if a part has been returned, we would like to see that information. So to do that, we're going to need to join 4 tables together. Look at the bottom part of your diagram here. We're going to look at the sales return table in the lower left-hand corner. Above that is the shipment part. To the right of that is sales order part. And to the right of that is part. So let's see how we would join these 4 tables together to get the information that we need. So let's start with the 2 on the left. This would be the sales return and the shipment part. So we'll put together a SQL statement. We don't know what we're going to select yet, so we'll leave that part blank. But we do know we want to start with the sales return table. So we'll select some columns from the sales return table, and we will use the alias of SR for that. Then we will join the shipment part table using SP as our alias. So we will join these 2 tables together, and then we have to tell SQL what are we joining this on. So if you remember from our relationship diagram, we have shipment part ID is the foreign key of the sales return, and that links to the primary key of the shipment part ID. So the shipment part ID, the sales return, is equal to the shipment part ID of the shipment part table. That's how we join them together. We use the join statement. We identify the table, shipment part, and we say on what condition are we joining them. And we want to say where the foreign key is equal to the primary key. So next we want to bring in the sales order part. To bring in the sales order part, we'll move our select statement down a notch or two, and we'll illustrate the sales order part table. So we want to join again. This time we're going to join adding our sales order part table, and we will say join sales order part, and we will give it the alias of SOP. If you remember, in the shipment part table, the sales order part ID is a foreign key to the sales order part ID in the sales order part table. So next we want to bring our joins in, our conditions in. So we'll grab the sales order part ID from the shipment part table, and we will say where that is equal to the sales order part ID of the sales order part table. Again, we are linking foreign key to primary key. Foreign key being the shipment part table, and the primary key being the sales order part table. And the last part of this exercise, we're going to bring in the part table. In the part table, we will add another join to bring in the part. So we'll bring in our part there. And now we want to link, there's our link between the part ID and the sales order part to the part in the part table. And we drop down the part ID from the sales order part. And then we also bring in the part ID from the part table. So we join on foreign key in the SOP table to the primary key in the part table. Okay, we have one more step to go. Let's look at our final SQL statement. And now we want to add a couple of columns here. And now from these four tables, we can pick the columns that we want to display. In this case, we will display the part ID from the part table, identified with the alias of P, and the name from the part table. So then we have part ID and name. And we want the quantity from the shipment part table. So we will use sp.quantity. And we also want to know the reason why it was returned. So we grab the reason from the sales return table, identify with the alias of SR. And we'd also like to know the date it was returned. And so we grab that also from the sales return table. So that's all we have to do. Again, we need to know our diagram. We need to know the foreign key and the primary keys. And generally, we just join these tables together using foreign keys and primary keys. Typically, not always, but in this case, the column names are the same. That makes it a little easier to identify. So that's all we have today. I hope that helps you. I know that problem is needed in one of the exercises in Project 4B. Again, I am Bob Dust, your instructor, and look forward to next time. Take care.